What's good, peeps? What is good? How's everyone doing? Hopefully everyone is doing very, very well. Don't forget, if you're new to the channel, to press that subscribe button. Also, don't forget to like and share the vids. Thank you to everyone that's doing all of that good stuff. All right. Can't lie, I'm still a bit half asleep. I got in at like 5:30, covering the UFC on TalkSport. That was the final UFC event on Fight Island. So it was quite a long show. It's 10:30 now. I just want to get this filmed. I want to go to the gym. I want to go out. I want to have a drink, which almost contradicts going to the gym. But it kind of does and doesn't, because I have a small drink because of what I do in the gym. Does that make any sense? Yeah, it does in my head. Thank you to everyone that's given me some feedback about the Ade on chair videos. What do I call it? The green chair on tour. There's a lot that I can improve on the videos, and me and the guy that helped me film it, Ring Raps, and the guy that was asking the questions have also said that there's loads that we can improve on, but we just wanted to get out there and try it. I always kind of preach that you just got to go first, do it, and then you can look back and say, okay, this, and this. So we know, like, you know, the camera should be on a tripod. I should have had the wind, I can't remember what they're called, but that kind of, what are they called? You know what I'm talking about, right? So it's not too windy, the sun, all that. So there's so much we can improve on, but I think overall the idea is good. So we will definitely do some more. So many of you guys are kind of suggesting other places, even places not in London, like all over the UK. And look, who knows, right? Who knows? It could be a thing. I think it will be a thing. So we'll see. But thank you so much for the feedback. Positive or negative, by the way. Even the negative feedback I take as a way to like improve. I don't like negative feedback on my videos, so I will take that on board as well. All right, where are we? I do need to shout out a couple of businesses, but I've not had a look, so I promise I will do that tomorrow in tomorrow's video. Also, we're definitely going to do Ade and Friends tomorrow as well, 110%. I'm going to send out a couple of emails this evening. Yeah, no doubt this evening, and we'll do an Ade and Friends because there has been a lot to talk about since I last done one. So we'll do a couple this week, 100%. Did everyone, and I don't even know if I'm going to timestamp this video because I feel like I'm going all over the place here. Did you guys see the female fight on DAZN? DAZN are showing it like they're proud of it. I think even the WBA have tweeted something as well, as though they're proud of it. It was an 18-0 female, or 17-0 at the time, I think, taking on a 5-0 female. I don't know their names. I could find it, but you guys, I think you guys will probably have seen it. And she got knocked out in 7 seconds. That 5-0 female, clearly, like, it just angered me so much because I looked at her record and she had fought someone in her debut. The second fight was in her debut. The third fight, she had fought someone in their debut. And I think the last fight, she had fought someone that was 2-3. And they thought it was wise to chuck her in with a 17-0 fighter. Like, the matchmakers effing disgrace, right? To even suggest that fight. Obviously, the matchmaker would approach the manager. He's not like fucking pointing a gun to the head saying you have to take the fight. But obviously, he would approach the manager. And sometimes you've got to save the fighters from themselves. You just got to. Most fighters, a chance to be on DAZN, bit of a higher pay packet, you're going to take it. You're going to take it, right? Because at that level, you're just a part-time boxer and you're fighting in leisure centers and small hall shows that are not televised. So the opportunity to go on DAZN, you're going to take. Someone needs to save you from yourself. The matchmaker shouldn't even suggest that to you. Shouldn't even suggest it. He should look at your fights and think, oh, no, she's not ready for that, right? We're not going to do that. And the way in which it ended, look at the knockout. And you don't see these knockouts in female boxing. Let's be honest, you don't, right? That's disgraceful. And that was for a WBC silver flyweight title as well. I mean, you're trying to grow the female sport or improve it at least. Those aren't the matchups. That was an effing disgrace. As soon as I saw it, I was so upset because it's just, you know what I was upset about? I was upset that DAZN were retweeting it and putting it over all their social media platforms as though that's something to be proud of. You should be embarrassed of that. That's probably why I was upset. Like, you should be embarrassed. You don't show it off like you've done something because it was the fastest knockout in female boxing history or some crap. You don't show that. Even I think the commentator said lamb versus lion. So like, he knew what was coming. Disgrace, all-round disgrace. Again, you save the fighters for themselves. These are fighters, although that lady didn't look like a fighter. She looked petrified. The first 2 seconds, she looked petrified. Like, why am I in here? It's almost like someone's forced her to get in the ring. Like, you know, remember, these managers take a bit of the pie, don't they? They take a slice of the pie. Some managers take an incredible amount. So, like, you never know, right? Maybe he's forced her to get in to take a slice of that pie. And that's disgraceful. Honestly, I'd love to know who that manager is so I can say his name and just put him on blast. Because, oh, mate. All right, where are we? Yeah, I don't know if I'm going to timestamp this, but we'll see. Quigley on Canelo. This could be like Apollo Creed giving Rocky his shot. What's going on here? Seriously, this is, you can understand why Billy Joe Saunders was like, I'm removing myself from this equation, right? I'm removing myself. Like, why is Quigley even still mentioning Canelo as a possibility when I thought Callum Smith was a done deal? Like, all of a sudden, the 9 weeks is now down to 8 weeks, right? So as much as people are like, oh, Billy Joe should, you know, well, it's not like Billy Joe was offered the fight 110%, like, you know? Like, to be fair, this should be already, we should already be announcing Callum Smith versus Canelo as a done deal, right? The date we don't know because it looks like they could go head to head with Roy Jones Jr. versus Mike Tyson, but it should be announced. And now all of a sudden it's getting to a stage where I feel like Team Canelo know who they're fighting, but the opponent doesn't, and that's an advantage that shouldn't be fair. It shouldn't happen, sorry. I don't know. Or, you know, I saw a video, I think it was Ultra Tech. I didn't actually watch the whole video, but I'm sure he said something like the fight might, like, Canelo might not even be fighting because of DAZN's finances. I don't know if that's him just trolling. Ultra Tech is, you know, he likes to troll a bit. Well, I don't know, man. We shall see what happens with that. Roy Jones Jr., 101 heavyweight title, only fight I wanted was Mike Tyson. That's true. That's true. I'm not quite sure what happened because it would seem like that's a fight that would have made a bit of money back then. Roy wouldn't have wanted to do what Roy did, which is, like, you know, reduce his body mass. It wasn't much fat on that body, was it? Body mass and all that muscle mass to go down to fight Tarver. He would have preferred to stay at heavyweight to fight Mike. Even though that was Mike coming off a loss to Lennox, that was still a big fight right at the time. Lennox Lewis versus Mike Tyson was massive, and there's no shame in losing to that Lennox Lewis. Good fighter, or great fighter, all-time great. So I think you still could have sold Roy versus Mike very well. And it was a chance of Mike getting a world title, right? Roy legitimately had a WBA belt. That was the belt that John Ruiz won from Evander, I believe. Could be wrong, but I think that was a belt. So, shocked that didn't happen. All right, let's talk about this. Joyce drops Michael Wallisch 3 times, stops him in the third. This was at the BT Tower. Joyce headlined the card. That fight is exactly why I said that it was important, mainly for more so for Joyce than Dubois, but it was important for these fighters to have a fight in the interim. Joyce obviously got the job done, and that's what he wanted to do. Probably wanted 3 or 4 rounds, right? Obviously, no fighter wants overtime, but you don't want to. You don't want to go for a camp just to have a sort of 50-second blowout. You want a few rounds, you do. He got those rounds. In saying that, it wasn't the best performance, was it? You know, I feel like I've got to stop saying that about Joyce. This is just Joyce's style of fighting, and for him it works, and it's effective. It's effective, people. I've seen a lot of the comments. I've watched a couple of clips, highlights and stuff, and I've looked at the comments, and people have really gone in. I don't know, man. Like, gone into Joe Joyce's style of fighting a few times. That's just how he fights. It's just how he fights. I don't know if we're expecting to see a guy bouncing on his toes and sort of throwing out the jab, and that's just how he fights. He mentioned, obviously he's not with his trainer at the moment, who's stuck in America. Even if his trainer was there, that's how Joe Joyce fights. It was a bit heavy. It's weird, he was heavy. What was he, 271 pounds, I think. But he didn't look, like his body composition didn't look like he was overweight. He's just a big, big boy. Credit to Michael Wallisch, who tried for all of 3 minutes. Tried for all of 3 minutes, but I don't know. Joe Joyce is effective. You know, Joe Joyce's hands aren't too bad, you know. I mean, there was the shot that put him down where I think he threw an uppercut, then a hook, then a body shot. Or it might have been, yeah, I think it was that. It was a 2 or 3 punch combination. It was good body, it was good punch placement. But I don't know, man. I don't know with Joe Joyce. I really don't. He seems to want to take one to give one as well, and that doesn't bode well in the heavyweight. I know he's very confident about his chin, but why roll the dice like that with your chin? Like, I don't know, man. I don't know. Is Joe Joyce really going to be that guy? You know, the funny thing, I thought he might be that guy when he first got bounced on the scene. I was like, oh, a bit excited. Now, not sure. Like, I had him beating Daniel Dubois. I feel like Daniel Dubois is just going to be too mobile for him. And Daniel Dubois doesn't have the best mobility himself, but again, Joe Joyce doesn't look like he's just moving very slow. And that ring was tiny yesterday as well. And it looked like he was moving slow in a tiny ring. I still feel like he doesn't know how to cut his opponents off. Like, he doesn't know how to, he seems to like just follow them round rather than cut them off. I just don't know, man. I don't want to be too critical. He's been at the ring a long time. He didn't have his trainer in his corner. And he just wanted some action. But his style of fighting, I don't know. Look, he got the job done. That's the most important, right? That's the most important. We're going to forget about this. Once he's in the ring with Daniel Dubois, fingers crossed Daniel Dubois gets the job done on his side as well. But once he's in the ring with Daniel Dubois, no one's going to remember this Michael Wallisch fight. You're not going to remember it, right? We're just going to see these two guys go for it. And it's going to be a good fight. Trust me, that fight's going to be good. So let's just move on from that, right? He got what he wanted. He got a few rounds. That's it. All right, another guy that got a few rounds but looked a lot better is VERGIL ORTIZ. He beat Vargas. Was it stopped him in the 7th? I think it was the 7th. This fight was not yesterday, the day before. VERGIL ORTIZ is good, you know. Good, you know. I mean, how good? I don't know, because I'm trying to compare him or match him up to the top guys. I just want to have a look at something quickly. One sec. I don't know where he is in any rankings. Two seconds, peeps. No, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know where he is in any rankings. I'm just going to double check how high up he is. Yeah, I'm just trying to think of how he would do. He's still very, very sort of young in his boxing career. He's only 16 fights, right? 16-0 though. I think all 16 by knockout as well. But how would he match up to a Danny Garcia or any of those guys? I still think he's away from that crop. Yeah, he still is away from that crop, but he's closing the distance very, very quick. 3 or 4 more fights, and I think, especially if you improve on the caliber of opposition, 3 or 4 more fights, and he's up there. He's up there. The only problem is, and he's going to realize this very, very quickly, is that he fights on that platform, they fight on that platform. So I don't know how, I have no idea how DAZN and Golden Boy are going to maneuver this for VERGIL ORTIZ. That's going to be the problem going forward. Or maybe it's a case of I don't know. They're done by the time he wants to fight them. You know, Keith Thurman almost looks like he's got a foot out the door. That matchup's never going to happen. And Errol Spence one's interesting because they've applauded each other, but they've also called each other out, or Virgil's called him out. I don't know, man. I don't know, but it's going to be interesting to see how they maneuver him. There are some good gatekeeper fights at 147. The one that always springs to mind for me is Louis Collazo, but I don't know what's going on with Louis Collazo. I'll tell you what is a very good gatekeeper fight. This guy kind of semi-retired now, it looks like, but fights again on the other platform, and that's Andre Berto. That's a very, very, very good gatekeeper fight for Vergil Ortiz. I don't know what Andre Berto gets out of it, right? Or he gets a payday out of it, but apart from that, I mean, the risk-reward, depending upon where Berto's mind is at right now, is pretty big. Sorry, it's pretty big, so I don't know what he's going to do, if he wants to take that fight or not, but we'll see. We'll see. EUBANK Jr. plans to help Roy Jones prepare for Mike Tyson. Can it just be the other way around, please? Can Roy Jones help EUBANK Jr. prepare for a fight? Like, prepare for Mike Tyson. 2 seconds. Okay, Shane Mosley Jr. had a win. Was this on the DAZN card? Beat Jeremy Ramos. Welcome back, Shane Mosley Jr. Okay, I saw this one. Triller. Never heard of this company, by the way. Have paid north of 50 million for Tyson Jones pay-per-view streaming rights. That's risky. That's risky. I mean, they're hoping. Again, I don't even know how much the pay-per-view cost. I'm guessing they're going to go big on the price, right? $40 would seem to make sense. Even that's crazy, by the way, but you know what American pay-per-view prices are like. Will they make their money back? I don't know. They've got to do a real good 24/7 like documentary to get people really in. I think people are in already just because everyone's talking about it. But I mean, that's 50 million, you know. They're hoping for some decent pay-per-view numbers with that. And it probably will do good pay-per-view numbers, but it's risky. That's very, very risky. Especially, I mean, I've never heard of Triller before either. So that's interesting, right? I know DAZN must have tried to get it. Come on, they must have tried to get this. A lot of people might have tried, but I guarantee DAZN. And the reason I say DAZN is because DAZN just like those kind of things, don't they? We've seen it with the YouTubers, right? And also there was talk about them showing the fight between, what's those guys' name? The Strongmen, 4 and Eddie Hall. So they like, I mean, if they were to show that, you can definitely tell they tried to get Roy Jones versus Mike, no doubt. Obviously, they probably didn't get it, right? Because Triller came in with that money, but there's no doubt they tried to get it. All right, what else have we got? Is there anything else? Anthony Joshua, the knee is good. I'm in full training. AJ is in full training. He's back at Finchley, training over there, doing his usual stuff, ticking away, which is good. Looks in good shape. That photo of him and Tyson Fury is definitely an angle which makes it look like he's well overweight. He's not that big at all. He's no way. That photo made him look like he's about 19 stone. When I'm seeing sort of images and videos of him training in Finchley, he's not that big. He's around the 18 stone mark, and I think, which is still big actually, but he's just a big guy, isn't he? But he'll be good. He'll be a good weight, for the Pulev fight. I think he needs to be bigger than he was for Ruiz, right? I don't think he needs to be as nimble, but yeah. You know, Joyce needs to be a bit lighter, actually. When I think of how he moves, Joyce needs to be really light, but there's not much fat on Joyce. He's a big, big lump. All right, anything else? There's a bit here about Daniel Dubois saying he's going to destroy Joyce and show that this is his era. We shall see. There are a number of good fighters for him, right? Number of good fighters, but that is it. Okay, that was the lady's name, Sinisa Estrada, and she beat Miranda Adkins. Just go and check those records on BoxRec, and you know exactly what I'm talking about. Right. DAZN secures rights to bare knuckle fighting championship in US. See, I just mentioned this. Bare knuckle fighting. DAZN just like want everything, right? Just trying to get everything. All right, guys, that is that. It's Eddie Hearn's fight camp starts this week. Is anyone interested? I look forward to seeing it. Let's see how it looks. I think it's going to be like a lot of glitz and glamour, a lot of fireworks and stuff. I had hoped to be actually there, like covering it, but I am busy with Sky and TalkSport this week coming. So yeah, got to crack on with what I got to crack on with. Oh shit! Before we go, I did shout out this book the other day. Mark Lucas. I don't know if you guys can see it properly. Mark Lucas. Sorry, it's a life a bit less ordinary, bipolar disorder for the average Joe. He sent it to me and he signed it, which is very, very nice. I've got tons of books to read, but this will definitely be one of the ones that I do read sooner rather than later. So shout out Mark Lucas. Again, you can get this book. It is on Amazon. How much is it? $8.99. It's a bargain, in it, for a book. It's a bargain. What's that? What's $8.99? Bucket of KFC, right? Bucket of KFC, bit of coleslaw, bit of beans. Not that I eat that food. Just saying, for those of you that do, peace and love.